let's get right into the technical details of Microsoft Research's new architecture, Webwright. For years, we've watched computer use agents get totally bottlenecked by heavily engineered harnesses and super fragile pixel-level predictions. Well, Microsoft Research has completely bypassed all of that. They've built an architecture that lets agents natively write code in a totally unconstrained terminal environment. We are abandoning those heavily guarded frameworks we normally use to guide large language models. Instead, this grants the agent absolute freedom to spawn browser sessions, execute raw scripts, and directly inspect tracebacks on its own. The result? It fundamentally alters how we design autonomous web workflows. And, as we'll see, it establishes new state-of-the-art results on the hardest available benchmarks in the field.
So let's break down this paradigm shift. The traditional stateful browser paradigm treats the persistent session as the workspace itself. It forces the agent to predict primitive clicks or keystrokes just by looking at static DOM trees. And we all know that breaks instantly the second there's a minor UI update or a lazy loading delay. But the terminal paradigm flips this entirely. It treats the browser as a disposable process. The true artifact of the execution isn't some fragile sequence of clicks, it's the underlying code generated right there in a local workspace. The agent writes, tests, and executes Python or Bash directly. Instead of playing a frustrating pixel-by-pixel video game, the agent is looping through variables, writing complex abstractions for web forms, and building robust, reusable RPA-style scripts using standard test-driven software engineering practices.
And what's really wild is that this shift requires surprisingly little overhead. In an era where everyone is building bloated multi-agent orchestration frameworks and impossibly complex hierarchical planning graphs, Webwright relies on a deliberately minimal system architecture. The entire specification is literally about 1,000 lines of code. It's split across just 3 highly optimized modules: a runner at about 150 lines, a model endpoint at 550 lines, and the terminal environment at 300 lines. That's it. Absolutely zero multi-agent orchestration. It relies entirely on a single continuous agent loop. Because the design is this minimal, the workspace is deeply transparent. Every log, every generated script, every headless screenshot is stored locally, which means engineers can easily debug, adapt, and build directly on top of the framework without navigating abstract agentic layers.
Let's look at exactly how this single interaction loop operates. It happens in 4 distinct steps. First, the runner feeds the current context right to the model. Second, the model generates a standard thinking block, followed by a raw bash command block. Step 3 is the execution phase. The environment takes that command, like running a brand new Playwright script it just generated, and executes it directly in the local workspace. Step 4 is where the critical feedback mechanism kicks in. The environment captures the observations, and I don't just mean visual diffs. We're talking terminal outputs, raw execution logs, and, most importantly, Python error tracebacks. So if the model writes a script that fails to locate some deeply nested web element, the terminal throws an error. The model reads that exact traceback in step 4, and it dynamically rewrites the script to fix the bug in the very next iteration. Now, to make this actually work, you have to solve 2 of the most notorious engineering bottlenecks in autonomous systems: premature completion and context explosion. Because models with open-ended terminal access frequently hallucinate success, basically emitting a done state without actually fulfilling the prompt, they enforce a rigorous self-reflection gate. The agent literally cannot pass until it generates an execution config, runs its final script in an entirely isolated fresh directory to prove deterministic reliability, and then parses the raw terminal standout logs to verify the output against the initial prompt. Simultaneously, to keep long coding trajectories from blowing out the model's context window, they implement an aggressive history compaction protocol. So instead of holding on to a massive token string of every raw terminal output, the system parses the execution context into condensed, high-level functional state summaries every 20 steps. It keeps the agent strictly focused on the immediate operational vector without losing the broader structural goal.
So let's look at the hard data. On the online Mind-to-Web benchmark evaluated across 300 live real-world tasks, GPT-5.4, operating within this framework, establishes a brand new overall state-of-the-art at 86.67%. That outperforms Claude Opus 4.7 at 84.7%. If you break it down, GPT 5.4 completely dominates the easy and medium evaluation splits, scaling really efficiently as the step budget increases. But check out the hard row. We see a fascinating architectural quirk here. Claude Opus 4.7 actually edges out GPT 5.4 in this category, scoring 80.5% versus 76.6%.
What this tells us is that while GPT 5.4 is broadly superior across standard web automations, Claude Opus retains a distinct algorithmic edge for the most complex, deeply nested web interactions that require highly advanced spatial reasoning.
Moving past standard web navigation, we hit the Odyssey's long horizon benchmark. This is a brutal evaluation. It demands multi-step workflows spanning multiple distinct websites, cross-page reasoning, and sustained operational memory for tasks where the instructions average over 270 words. Operating in the terminal paradigm, powered by GPT 5.4, the system hits an incredible 60.1% success rate. To put that into perspective, the previous absolute state-of-the-art model topped out at 44.5%. That is a massive 35.1% relative improvement. It absolutely proves that unconstraining a coding agent and giving it direct access to a local terminal fundamentally unlocks its capacity to manage extreme, long-horizon, multi-session tasks.
Of course, performance always has to be weighed against operational token economics. This analysis right here reveals a critical engineering trade-off that really dictates the financial reality of enterprise deployment. Claude Opus 4.7 is remarkably efficient in its specific trajectory planning. It solves complex tasks in a mean of just 21.9 steps. But because of its premium API pricing, it costs an average of $6.09 per task. GPT 5.4, on the other hand, needs a slightly longer operational loop, averaging 26.3 steps, but it only costs $2.37 per task. So, for organizations aiming to have an agent autonomously generate and validate thousands of RPA scripts for continuous enterprise workflows, GPT 5.4 provides a vastly superior cost-to-performance ratio.
Ultimately, the real paradigm shift here is caching. The final output isn't merely a successfully completed web task. It's a validated, parameterized Python or Bash script permanently stored on disk. Once the agent figures out how to navigate a highly dynamic, complex web interface, that specific workflow is encoded as an executable program, which means that compute cost, that $2.37 we just talked about, is paid exactly once. Subsequent executions of that workflow run at essentially zero inference cost. It totally transforms isolated, episodic AI problem-solving into a permanent, locally stored library of robust technical capabilities. As these systems build, index, and validate massive repositories of terminal-generated scripts, it really challenges us to fundamentally rethink how we architect AI memory and design continuous learning loops for the modern web. Absolutely fascinating research.